Yo, what's up guys? Kobe Cheese here. Gonna be doing a solo queue commentary. Haven't done one of these in a while, but I wanted to bring you another one. And this time I'm gonna be doing some solo top pirate. This was just in a solo ranked game, and I chose pirate. Talon was actually banned. I've been playing a lot of Talon lately, but you know, I thought, hey, what the heck? I want to pick up some pirate. Decided to go for teleport and flash in this one. And Lee Sin was trying to steal the enemy golems. Ends up giving away first blood. I did not want to die there, so I just kind of backed off as the Morgana was able to come up there, and that's actually the reason he died, is he got binded from that. So I'm just going to come up here, and the thing with pirate that you want to do is farm as much as possible early game if you're going to be in the top lane. Obviously, you can run around and gank and do other things like that, but in this lane, especially against my lane opponent, I feel that it's going to be a very, very easy farm for me. The cool thing about pirate is that on his Q, whenever you last hit with it, you get a considerable amount of extra gold. As you can see there, I just last hit the minion and it gives you plus 4 gold. I level up that Q first and it gets all the way up to plus 8 gold. So literally half of what I got from the minion, I get extra on top of that. So I'm using my Q when I can to get a little bit of extra gold. I don't play pirate a lot. Like, there's probably some improvements that I can do on him, but I can give you a pretty good idea of how to play him and some strategy with him in this game. So what I like to do, if you can see there, anytime you notice your lane opponent, if they're a melee, such as the Nasus here, go up to last hit, I'll let him do that, and then I can hit him with a Q, and then auto attack him one time, and then step back. And then I'll be able to come ahead on the trade that way, if you're going to trade hits. So also, you notice I let him hit me there. I realized I had the creep advantage, and so he took a ton of damage from my creeps, and he decided to stick around just a little bit too long. I flash in, Q him, and auto attack, and that's going to be a kill for me. Now, that would have been first blood if not for Lee Sin dying, but either way, he loses quite a bit of creeps here if you notice, and that's going to give me a significant advantage in the lane. He'll be back before too long since it is early on. Yeah, there you go. He didn't actually lose a ton, but he is going to have to last hit at that tower. He should be fine. The cool thing is that it allows me to pick up a very early Philosopher's Stone. It's only 4 minutes, and I picked up that flow plus some boots and a ward to help me stay in the lane further. And I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. If he allows me to, I will harass him, but I'm not going to take poke from him. Nasus is still strong, and he can heal himself back up from auto-attacking those creeps, and I don't want to lose the advantage that I just gave myself. So I'm just going to continue and farm up pretty much for the first, I'd say, maybe half of this game. And that's really your goal on to pirate, is to have the highest creep score possible when you're soloing top like this. I picked up that teleport so that I can literally just stay up top and forget the rest of the game, and then when it gets around maybe 10-12 minutes when people are trying to pick up dragon, I can either throw down my ultimate to help them secure that, or potentially teleport in and help them grab it and maybe pick up some kills, or I can just walk that way, pick up dragon, and then be able to teleport top so that Nasus won't be able to take out my tower. Alright, and you'll notice that a lot of these clips I've actually sped up considerably. The reason for this is I was able to remove about 20 minutes of gameplay by speeding up kind of the boring parts, like me sitting here auto-attacking, last hitting minions. It's not too difficult, really. You've got pretty good damage, and then even if you miss the last hit, you do have that ticking dot passive from your auto attack, which slows them down, which that doesn't matter, but it also does some extra damage, and that'll help you last hit those minions as well. So you can use your Q when they get low enough health. Of course, if you're having trouble pushing the lane, obviously you don't want to Q them until the HP is low enough to auto attack last hit them anyways. However, against this Nasus, I'm not having too much trouble. He's doing kind of the same thing. He's hitting the minions at quite high HP and last hitting them the same way I am doing here. I'm not really using any AoE abilities because I don't have any, unless you're counting my ultimate. But there you go. I just hit level 6. At this point, when you hit level 6 on pirate, I want to really watch the map for, there you go, I actually saw middle, there was 2 people going for a gank on Morgana. I put a little bit of damage onto her, probably not much. She did have her black shield, I wasn't able to slow her, but I did get the assist from it and the experience, so that's kind of the important thing. And the cool part about pirate is that you can pick up assists and kills when you're staying in your lane, doing what you want to do. You want to make sure that you don't use up all of your mana whenever you're in the lane on Qs and things like that. You want to have enough mana to at least use your remove scurvy, which is your W. That way you can get out of slows and binds and potentially use your ultimate to help out your allies on the other parts of the map. So You also notice I got that ward, but it took me a while to put it down. Usually, you don't want to put that ward down until you pass that middle part of the river and in the in the creep wave. So once I passed that, that's when I went and put that that ward down. I haven't actually had any real problems with ganks early on in this game. We've got a Lee Sin, and he seems to be doing a fairly decent job of farming. And then they've got an Amumu who's been focusing, as you notice, towards the middle area and the bottom there. He just picked up 2 kills. I think they dove a little bit too much on that Morgana, try to pick up kills on him. That was a really silly move on my team's part. Not a big deal for me though. Personally, as a top laner, you can do some things to change the course of the game early on. That's why I like to play champions that have globals, and I like to pick up teleport, is because it gives you more of an option in solo queue games to actually make a difference whenever people are, doing stupid stuff. For the most part, though, if your team is playing fairly even, you can just stay up top lane, and as long as you have proper ward coverage, then you'll be able to survive and hopefully outfarm your lane opponent, or at least keep even with them. The idea is to not lose. That's really how it comes down to. If you want to win solo queue, just win your lane. And, the worst that you can do is obviously lose your lane. Now, if you can do other things in your lane in addition to winning them, if you can every once in a while throw down an ultimate, or run down middle lane and gank that, or something of that nature, then that's going to really help out as well. Now, I noticed down bottom I saw someone died, so I looked down bottom to see what was going on, put down my ultimate, and I didn't even finish watching the fight. I was like, hey, what the heck, I'm going to help out as much as I can. But as you notice, I got, I think, 2 assists from that. It looks like I'm at 1-0-2, so I got that one from Morgana, and then I got another assist just from that point there. Someone did die, and I was able to get that assist. So there we go, already 2 assists, and I haven't even left my lane, just sitting up here farming. I've got quite a high creep score, and I'm actually working towards a Warmogs. I really like the Warmogs on solo top pirate because you can pick it up fairly early, and it synergizes well with him because on this team composition, they've got Caitlyn and they've got a Nasus. That is already a really, really large amount of physical damage that you have to worry about. So since I'm going to be kind of in the middle fighting people and really up in everybody's faces, and probably I'm going to have the responsibility of taking out Caitlyn, I figured, hey, what the heck, man, I need to get lots of armor and lots of HP so that I can run in there and survive that. There we go. I just saw Amumu poke his head out of the bush, and I know that he's going to be there, so I am staying far to the left side. I know that if he tries to jump on me, they will have extra slows. He's got 2 stuns if he lands a bandage, plus the slow from Nasus. If they don't stack those in properly, then it's going to be hard for me to get out. So I don't want to get hit by everything. If I can dodge a bandage toss, that's good. And that's just my thinking with Pirate. Yes, you do have scurvy, and you can eat oranges, and it's going to be K. However, you do need to definitely keep in mind the fact that you only have 1, and if they have stuns that stack up, that's pretty bad for you. Now, right here, I'm actually trying to force out all of the spells from Nasus. He did get a little bit aggressive, and he didn't have a lot of mana, so I waited for him to put a slow on me, and then I used my remove scurvy, and what he ended up doing was he had to exhaust me and flash away just to escape. So now, knowing that he has neither flash or exhaust and no mana to really do anything to me, I'm just going to sit here and pound away on his tower. I'm not really worried about attacking him because that's not safe for me to do. I don't know where Amumu is at, so it's not like too safe, but I know, there we go, there's Amumu. I knew they would be there eventually, but I did have that ward in the tri-bush area, and that's the only reason I decided to do that. Got me some extra damage onto the tower. I was thinking about using my teleport to go up top, but I did want to have it saved just in case. If you have teleport on top lane, it's okay to use it really early, but if at all possible, don't use your teleport unless you actually have to, because it's nice to have that available to you in case you need to use it later in a situation that's going to benefit your team. So I'm seeing some pinging down bottom. I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like the Amumu actually does try and gank me after all. I used my remove scurvy, but they had that extra slow, so I take about half my health and damage. Good thing I did have that Warmogs, as I will be able to health regen over time, and it should be okay as long as I don't take any harass from that Nasus, and I should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and attack Nasus, try and use, just kind of get, okay, there we go. That was my goal, is to use his ultimate up. Anytime I can get Nasus to pop his ulti, but have it not be effective for him, that's a win for me, because then it's going to be harder for him to, say, tower dive me or whatever the case may be. At this point, his ulti is down, so if he tried to tower dive me, he would be much weaker and it potentially could kill me if he was strong enough, but I don't think he is. I do have that Warmogs, and it gives me quite a significant advantage. I'll be able to use my I use my raised morale to run faster. My scurvy can get me out of his slow, and I can even put down my ultimate if I had to run. But now we have Lee Sin coming up. He's going to try and help me out to gank for the first time this game. That's going to be good. And I'm going to put down the slow onto him, throw up the... I waited for the raised morale until he got there so he would get the benefit of that buff as well, and then I slow him down with my ultimate. No way that he's going to get away from that one. His flash and exhaust were both down from earlier, if you recall. And so that secures us an extra kill up top lane. And now with 2 waves of minions, he's going to both lose those, and we're going to be able to easily take that tower. So doing a really good job up top. And again, win your lane, win the game. That's kind of the big saying, especially in solo queue. Because right now, that Nasus is having some trouble versus me. And while he is kind of free farming on his own, like, I'm not really shutting him down. I'm just farming a lot better than he is. Plus, I have those 2 extra kills and 2 assists. And then the fact that whenever I hit a minion with my Q, I get a lot of extra gold. So overall, I'm very far ahead of him. Now, I tried to give Galio that blue buff, but my passive actually killed it. So I was like, oh well, whatever. That's okay for me, though, because I get to just spam my Q and farm more. Galio really doesn't have that bad of a mana issue unless he's just trying to harass constantly. If he's built up correctly, he should be good. But I noticed the Nasus is going to come in here. Now, normally I would have to attack the minions because I couldn't handle, getting attacked by all of the minions and the Nasus at the same time. But since I've already got an armor built up, plus that Warmogs, I don't really care if the minions attack me. And you notice I forced Nasus to use his ultimate. And now, once again, he has no ulti alive, and he doesn't have a tower to fall back to. So what I'm going to do is, there we go. I was hoping he would come back and try and last hit a minion, and then I would run up and attack him and slow him. However, he was kind of smart and he ran backwards, and that made it so I could not keep him slowed and catch up to him. No problem, though. I do notice that there is going to be a little bit of dragon action going down here. It is 20 minutes, and I don't even know if we've gotten one yet. We may have. I may have just missed it because I've been so preoccupied watching top. But there we go. We do have a ward, and I noticed that people are fighting. So if you look on the minimap, I've actually been watching this, but I clicked down that direction. I was like, well, I could teleport, but I would prefer to walk that way just in case... I didn't need to teleport because, I mean, honestly, unless a fight had actually broken out, I really didn't need to teleport, and I'd prefer to actually fight the dragon and then teleport back up top. Now, the only problem with this is I think I'm actually going to lose that top tower. The Nasus did take advantage of that situation of me leaving. So, no problem, though. We did pick up the dragon. Now they actually engage a little bit too late. You usually want to engage on dragon before they pick it up. So, now we got a Galio ultimate. I throw my ultimate down, so there's nowhere for them to escape to, keeping them slowed down. I pick up a kill onto an Amumu. Nice binding from Morgana. Keeps me slowed. So, I'm probably not going to be able to pick up the KS onto this Alistar. No big deal. I did get a 40 gold assist. And now I'm looking at bottom tower. It looks a little bit juicy to me, and I say, hey, what the heck, man? So, the main thing in this game is the order of priorities is always going to be towers. If you can push a tower, that's always going to be priority number 1, and then dragon or baron, and then champion kills. That's kind of your priority of objectives, of course. So I noticed that I don't want to lose all these creeps on on top. And I know that they can easily take out that bottom tower on their own, so I'm just going to move back up top and keep this Nasus slowed down. He's probably going to have to use his ulti or flash or something to get away from me because he's already used his exhaust, and I'm keeping him slow. There we go. He did use his ulti, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave him alone, and he's just going to run out of there. I'm going to farm the rest of these creeps, and we'll be good. At this point, I have enough money to build up my Atmas, and I know at this stage in the game, just around 22 minutes, this is where all of the team fights begin to take place. This is where you want to see your carries have their like infinity edges and gun blades for your Akali's and things like that. So Warmogs and Atmas, that's a very, very good pickup for me. I've already got all that stuff, and I still have that Philosopher's Stone just taking away money for me. I'm going to start picking up these red buffs and try and make a difference to the game. I've got my wards. Wards are always very important. You want to put a ward right here. I think this is one of the best places for wards. Now the cool thing is I actually noticed a Mumu coming over here, and for some reason he decided to stick around and keep fighting those wraiths, not thinking I was going to come pick him up. I slow him down with my ultimate and I go for the kill. That's an Oracle's down, and that is a huge hit. So not only do I get 273 gold, but he loses 400 gold by dying right there. Now Morgana also has an Oracle's, and I want to pick her up, so I'm going to go for it. She does use her ulti, and I don't think we're going to be able to kill her because the Galio uses his ulti a little too early. If he had waited until that stun went off and then actually dove onto her, then he could have definitely killed her, but he did make that mistake. So unfortunately, won't get that kill, won't get that oracles, but we will take a tower from that. No big deal. I have those 2 wards there, so what that allows me to do with that ward coverage is not only know when people are coming down from that area, but if I wanted to split push and go top lane, I'll know if somebody's coming to stop me. But unfortunately, that Morgana, as I said, does have that oracle, so she's going to be able to take out those 2 wards that I placed down. No big deal. It did serve its purpose. I was able to kill the Mumu and just keep him farther behind. So right now, I'm feeling like I'm tanky enough to handle their team. And what I want to do is build up an Infinity Edge. So once I get enough money, I will go for that. However, of course, I've only got 1,000. You need 1,650 to do that. So right now, my thought process is, hey, I need to farm up as much as possible, potentially pick up any kills if somebody's stupid enough to get caught. And so here we go. That's what you're going to see me doing for the next couple of minutes, is just looking for those creep waves, trying to get the last hits in. And any chance I get, I will obviously put some damage onto towers because that's what wins the game, of course. Going to be going for this blue buff now. Obviously, Lee Sin does not need it, and Galio is nowhere in sight. I'm fine with it because it helps me with my ultimate cooldown and spamming my Q for that extra gold. As you can see, every time I get a chance, I get that +8 gold from that. So here we go. I see Nasus. I'm a little bit worried because I don't know where the rest of their team is. I don't want to get caught, so I'm not going to continue chasing him. I don't want to be really retarded or anything like that. But I do notice that Morgana might actually catch our... Oh, no. So, yes, our Karma does get caught there. Nice little knockup by the Alistar, and this is looking like a pretty bad fight. I'm looking for a position to put down my ultimate. I'm not sure the best spot, but now that the Galio ultimate goes down, that I realized, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're going to make this happen. Easy pickup on a Mumu. He's actually not very tanky right now. I get caught in a trap. I was going to chase down Caitlyn and take her out, but she's pretty good at kiting. Noticing that the Nasus is really dumb, and looks like he he almost got that Galio, but Galio for some reason ran back in, gets hit by a Q from the Caitlyn. Nice job on her part, but it is going to be blood for blood, as we will be taking out both Nasus and the Caitlyn, and unfortunately I don't get the chaos on that because I step on another trap and she gets kicked out of my way, so I can't auto attack her down. No big deal. We're actually in a pretty good position right now. We picked up a dragon or 2, and I myself am very, very farmed. So while we're not actually ahead like to an extreme extent, as long as we don't make too many mistakes right now, we're in a very good position. We can potentially continue warding up and force a Baron fight soon. I don't know if we're stronger than them. I know I definitely am because I'm obviously level 17 and I've got the Warmog's Atmas. I will be able to buy a BF sword when I go back to base. I've got 2,500 gold, so that is a pretty good position to be in. I might be able to pick up a pickaxe as well. I'm going to go ahead and take this red buff here. And at this point, I'm feeling really confident. We've got that dragon. That's like our second or third one so far. We already have 4 towers to their 2. Yeah, they still haven't taken our mid tower. So global gold wise, we're a very large amount ahead, and I don't know what level their Nasus and Morgana are. Okay, so Morgana's level 16. Even I'm ahead of her by a level. That's a pretty good amount when you're this high up. Nasus, I'm sure he's at least 16 or 17 as well. So I'm not like way out leveling everybody, but if you notice, like a Mumu, I think he's only like level 12 or so. He's doing pretty bad. That Mumu is having a lot of issues this game. Wasn't really playing to the best of his abilities, and I don't know if that's because of Lee Sin counter-jungling or what. I wasn't really watching the minimap. I was focusing a lot on farming. Again, like I said, playing a top lane carry, it can be kind of boring, but I like to play the carries that have globals, Pantheon, and Pirate, because of the fact that you can throw down those ultis and help out the other lanes, at least to some extent, you know what I mean? So at that same time, you're strong enough to fight and stay into battles and do some pretty good stuff. So I didn't have any room for wards. I usually like to pick up wards, but since I do have that Philosopher's Stone, that is taking up that 6th slot that I usually have. Amumu misses his bandage toss, and that's pretty bad for him. He really needs to grab one of those bandage tosses. If he can get a nice engage on our team, then they could potentially win a team fight. They've got a Morgana. Oh, no! Okay, so there we go. He misses another bandage toss. I got bound, and he thought he was going to be able to catch me, but he misjudged the range and still hit his ulti, thinking he was going to get a nice combo from it, and so that screwed up everything. Now that he did that, we know it's a great time to continue pushing in because they have no way to lock us down and engage on us. So I'm just going to be crazy mode here. I'm going to go for as many Qs onto that Morgana as possible. She can't really stop it with her magic shield because I do physical damage with it. At least I believe that's how it works. And oh man, looks like Lee Sin got a little too crazy with his jump in there. Morgana's going to try and slow us down. I'm going to be able to walk right out of that, no problem. I was able to pick up the cow with my passive, and nice little Galio ultimate there. I don't know if we can pick up, there we go, yes we do. We do pick up the kill onto Nasus, and he goes down, and that's going to allow us to tank this tower. Galio is strong enough to be able to tank it. I'm going to come in there and do as much damage as possible, and I don't think that Caitlyn wants to stick around. No, she does not. So that's actually really bad for the team. The Amumu is really losing it for them right now, and the fact that I am so farmed up and fed, that makes it to where the rest of their team just cannot handle my amount of damage that I have, and on top of how tanky I am. Like normally, if I was just full damage build, they would be able to easily just run at me and take me out quickly as I go in there, because I'm literally walking into the middle of everybody, and when I get hit by bindings, you know, that's obviously going to hurt, but not really too bad. So here we go. The Amumu goes in, trying to engage again. However, he makes the mistake of doing it without the rest of his team close by, so he ends up losing all of his HP. Now he cannot even come back in for an engage. Unfortunately, Karma does get caught by the Alistar, getting a little bit too confident and cocky by the mistake of Amumu. She makes her own. Amumu does make it out. She does not. So I'm just going to walk this way and get the heck out of there. Lee Sin comes up to try and shield me. That's nice. Thank you, sir. No big deal there. I'm going to pick up this blue buff. I think that Ashe could potentially take it, but it's probably stronger on me just for the cooldowns once again. Oh no, it looks like I kind of had an idea they would be going for Baron. This is a very smart play on their part, going for that Baron. They do pick it up. Now that Karma got caught, we had to be, and so, I mean, they were already all grouped up and in position. So that's actually not good for us. They were able to get the first Baron of the game. That's a very large amount of gold, plus that buff is huge. I do have the Infinity Edge though, however, so I'm going to be able to do big damage. I'm looking at their items. If you notice right now, I'm taking a look and just trying to decide what item to build next. Now the idea is that you want to try and counter out the items that are being built by the enemy team. I noticed that they don't have a huge amount of armor. They've got decent armor items, but not enough for me to really warrant getting a Last Whisper. So instead, what I want to do is go a little bit more bursty and be able to run faster. So I'm going to pick up a Triforce as fast as possible. And the reason for this is it works really great on Gangplank. You shoot his Q, and since his Q actually uses the passive effects, like it'll use red buff and stuff like that, it'll also work with Trinity. So if you shoot a Trinity Force, it'll proc the Trinity, which applies that extra bonus damage from Trinity to your Q and make your Q hit much harder. So just your Q poke alone is just magnified significantly. Not only that, but it allows me to slow people down. On top of that, it allows me to run faster in and out of fights, and that's a big deal with Gangplank. He's a very fast, quick carry, and on, you know, of course he's tanky. He's got his remove scurvy. Even if I don't build AP, which, you know, that's a funny build. But oh, that's another thing. Trinity Force, it gives me a little bit of AP for my remove scurvy, so I can heal myself for around 350, I believe. It's something around that range. We'll see next time I push it, but it's about that much, and that's a pretty big amount, especially when you have a lot of you know, resistances and reduction. I've got 113 magic resist. I did pick up the Merc Treads earlier on in the game. The reason for that obviously being that they have not only an Amumu, they've got a slow from the Nasus, they've got the binding from Morgana, and on top of that, her slow and stun as well. So I just wanted to have as much. Okay, no, here we go. There's going to be a nasty fight engaged, and I noticed that there is a nice Galio ult. I usually try and stack my ultimate on top of Galio's. It's harder for people to run out of that. Even if they cleanse out of it, they're still slowed and they have to run out. Nice little arrow from our Ashe keeps them slowed, and I think we're going to be able to escape here. We are on the run. They did have the Baron buff, so it was hard for us to fight that. We actually did not lose anyone. Galio almost dies, but he just barely gets away. I'm trying to keep everybody slowed here so that Lee Sin can run. He kicks back Alistar, I believe, or maybe Alistar just went for me. And either way, the fight looks like it could go well here. I'm going to run past everybody and go straight for the person of interest, which is that Caitlyn. I realized that I'm not going to make that happen, so I decided to just, you know, scoot the heck out of there. Still, Caitlyn is alive, and Galio is trying to make something happen. He's doing a good bit of work onto her. All I need to do is get a good position. There we go. I'm running to the bush now. Now I can go back in if I wanted to. But at the same time, I was like, well, I'm a little bit afraid. If they turn around and come onto me, we're really low, so not going to make that happen. Instead, Galio dies, and we all escape, and they're going to take that mid tower. But that would have been the best time to engage. A lot of times, you just have to find the right positioning to go on that carry. And in this case, the two most important people on their team is Caitlyn and Morgana. So I'm going to personally focus those two all the time. I'm not going to ever shoot my Q at anyone else unless it's just a poke situation and I can't do it on anyone else. And that's the idea. When you play someone that can do any poke, or someone who's just strong bruiser type, and that's kind of what Gangplank is. He's like a bruiser carry, a melee bruiser carry, I guess, the best way I can put it. So the idea is to just run in there and either focus the Caitlyn or the Morgana every single fight, take them out, and make it so that they cannot put any punishment onto the rest of your team. And then in the very back, we're going to have Ash sitting there taking out their tanky people like Nasus and stuff like that. It'll take her a little bit longer, but she can just sit there and whittle away on them while I burst down their squishies. And that's the idea. So we're going to go up here, take out this inhibitor again. It did respawn. If they want to stop us, they are going to have to engage. This is the last thing they can possibly do, because if we keep taking out these inhibitors, then they are going to win. Nice ulti by Galio. He does get knocked out, though, and that's a great job from the Alistar. I don't know if I've used my... There we go. Now I use my ultimate. I use that... as everyone is trying to run away, and that allows us to continue chasing, and we've got the advantage. I flash in, trying to take out this Caitlyn. She is saved quite a bit by the Alistar, and I don't have enough ticking dot damage to pick her up, but she runs away, and we are able to pick up the inhibitor, and that's going to give us the advantage we need. I don't know if we'll be able to pick up both of these towers. We need to hurry up and kill them. Unfortunately, again, that Caitlyn did not die. We would have already won the game by now if that Caitlyn is dead, but she's doing a big amount of damage to us, stepping on those traps. We will take out this tower, but... oh no, man, she's doing pretty big damage. If they can come back, they might be able to stop us. But I think at this point we've pretty much won the game. It was really hard for them to stop us. At this point I'm 10-0-7. They have not been able to kill me. I am so tanky, and so it's just that this game has gone very well for me personally. We've had kind of some slippery situations where they got Baron and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't always like to show videos of me just completely wrecking. I don't think this game was a complete shutdown of the enemy team. It was really back and forth. I just want to show you that you can carry people if you play it correctly. The idea, though, is go top lane and focus on that farm. The reason I was able to get so many items is because I really focused on that farm. Now, I knew they were going to go Baron again. I knew it, so I ran right up there, and look at all the damage I did to that Caitlyn. Again, I just picked up that Trinity, and you see all that burst going down. Boom. One more Q. I take her out, and pretty much 2 Qs and a little bit of extra damage for my team. And now I'm going to go for Morgana, like I was talking about earlier. Always focus in those squishies. So since Caitlyn and Morgana go down quickly, they have literally nothing except for this Nasus Witch. Nasus is pretty scary, by the way. I'm actually about to die. I'm a little bit worried. I was like, no, I don't want to lose my strength. Run away. So I used my Raise Morale to run just enough speed, and plus that, oh my god, I almost died to a Caitlyn trap. But, wow, that would have sucked. But yeah, I had that Trinity Force, and the Raise Morale allowed me to run away from them just enough, and there we go. Use my a little heal to keep myself up a little bit. I want to come in here. I'm a little bit greedy right now. I don't have to come in here and fight this, but I wanted to pick up a kill either on the Alistar or onto the Nasus, but they die either way. And that's going to be the game for us. We're going to win this. So anyways, guys, I do enjoy these solo queue commentaries. If you liked watching it as much as I like doing it, then there is that thumbs up button. You can push that, or else I'll push you. But be sure to subscribe so you know when the next video is out, as I do plan to do a lot more. And be sure to watch my stream if you want to see more full games in the future. That is own3D/Kobe Cheese. Yeah. But anyways, this Kobe Cheese, guys. Peace out and have a good one.